Well, hey, everybody. I just wanted to take a few minutes and share a little bit of what our changes are going to be here in our sanctuary. So, just take a moment to get the camera and making sure that the microphone was ready. I want to take opportunity to let everybody know that we are going to be welcoming folks back. We want to remember that there are some new guidelines that we're going to have to abide by. And those guidelines are laid out to us by our federal government, our state government, a little bit locally, and also by our own congregation as we seek to love and care for one another. So when you enter on Sunday morning, stand our worship service starts at 9:30 now, and we're come on in and we're going to want to make sure that we sanitize our hands and that we wear a face mask, and everyone in the congregation will be wearing a face mask. And anytime anybody comes down off of the platform, they're going to be wearing a face mask as well. You'll see that we moved our worship team, and if you tuned in to worship last Sunday, you saw that we were over there for the first time over in what had been our choir loft, and we've done that so that we can keep a little bit more separated while we're singing. Um, Also, remember that when you come in after you've put on your mask and you've sanitized, counted for so that we can know who's coming in and how many folks are coming in. We'll be making sure that no one is coming in ill. And so if you're ill, please stay home on Sunday. And we're also going to limit our congregation size to what is about 25% or to 25% of our capacity, which is going to leave us at about 50 people in our sanctuary. So if you come on Sunday and you're number 51, we're going to strongly encourage you. Well, we're going to have to unfortunately ask you to worship maybe from outside and listen. You'll be able to tune in on YouTube Live if you have a smart device with you, and you'll certainly be able to hear us through the windows as well. And then we'll come inside into the sanctuary. We're going to be seated physically distant apart. We're going to be 6 feet apart by household so that we can make sure that we maintain that level of safety for everyone. And we're also going to, once the worship has ended on Sunday, we're going to exit the sanctuary, the building, also trying to keep that physical distance to the very best of our ability. And so I'll actually be dismissing folks, which is not something that I've ever done before, but we'll be dismissing from the back and from the friendship room, which we have set up for seating as needed, from the friendship room out, and then from the back of the church out, and working our way forward. And then we're going to be able to gather outside. And we have a great space in the shade between the parsonage and the church, and also out in the front yard as well, where we can gather physically distant, making sure that we're keeping one another safe and be able to minister to one another, talk to one another, catch up with one another. For many of us, this may be the first time that we've seen each other in going on 4 months. We have not gathered for worship since March 15th. So it's been a little while, and it is going to be really good for us to be able to get together and meet. So please remember as we come on in on Sunday morning that we are gathering to worship our God and to love one another. And as we gather, we're going to gather excited to be together, even if we're not from the pew that we want to be sitting in, but we're going to be glad that we're here, and we are going to be able to talk with one another across the sanctuary. So it might be a little bit louder on Sunday before we begin our worship time, but it's going to be wonderful to be together. I love you all. I miss you, and I look forward to seeing you. God bless.